Hello lovely people, welcome back to another video. Today's theme is all about how I style my naturally curly hair. A lot of people wanted this on Instagram, but I just thought it was going to be too long of a video, so I filmed it for YouTube and then I might just kind of shorten it down on Instagram, but you can go and watch the full video on YouTube. And this is it. I mean, you'll see throughout this video that my curls are nowhere in a place of perfect. They're so much better than they ever were, and I feel happy and confident in them, but they have a long way to go. And this is all very new to me, so I'm showing you guys what I use, my technique that was given to me by the curl clinic in Leeds. So please nobody tell me whether I'm doing anything right or wrong. As far as I'm concerned, there is no right and wrong. It's just whatever works for your hair. So with that being said as well, as much as this works for me, it might not work for you. But yeah, I hope that I can help in some way. So I want to preface this video by saying that all of this curl knowledge, education, everything that I know now about curls, this is not an ad by the way, but I just wanted to talk about a service that I'd had recently that I was absolutely obsessed with. I went to the curl clinic in Leeds, who are specialists in curly hair, or they have a variety of different clients that come in, and I think somebody said to me that there's actually one in Manchester now, but I went to Leeds for this one. And I'm pretty sure there's curly hair specialists all over the world, so you know, I would say that that is your first step in if you are wanting to revive your curls, see how far your curls will go, that kind of thing. So I went there, paid full price for the treatment. It wasn't, again, this is not an ad or sponsorship in any way, but I've obviously had curly hair my whole life. I'd never really had any education on how to style my curls, how to look after them, anything like that. But I knew that I wanted to embrace my natural hair. Straightening it was just, it had got ridiculous. It wasn't working for me. It ended up just being slicked back all the time, which I actually love my hair slicked back, and I do it quite often still, but in more of a protective way. So they gave me the first thing that we did was sit down and talk through the way that I deal with my hair now. They really kind of got to grips and understanding of what my situation was and what I wanted to achieve out of my curls. So the first thing that they did was give me a curly cut, and if I could offer you one piece of advice, it would be you need to go and get a curly cut by somebody who is a specialist in curly hair, who knows how it moves, how it behaves. You know, I'd had my hair cut like short and blunt because I was used to having it straight all the time. And this is why I know that the curly cut was the most important thing, is because I'm using the same styling products on my hair now for my curls as I was before the curly cut, and it looks completely different. So you know, you can invest in the best products and that kind of thing, but if your hair is not cut for your hair type or your curl type, then it's not going to work. They did obviously cut my hair quite short, but my hair was I'd already had my hair cut quite short previously, so there was only so much that we could take off, because obviously if you've got curly hair, you'll know, this is wet at the moment, but when it's dry, you'll know the height in which curly hair jumps up when it's curly and dry. So there was only so much actually at that point that we could take off without it looking ridiculous. I mean, I really just didn't want to look like I was auditioning for Annie the Musical. So there is still a few split ends at the bottom of my hair, which as it grows, and it's growing much quicker because I'm taking care of it and there's virtually no heat on it anymore. So as that grows, we'll be able to cut all of those split ends off and it'll be in a much healthier state. So I feel like I've massively rambled on there, but those are the most important things I would say in how my hair has changed. So I think it's important that kind of I got those across. The second thing is, I can't stress enough how important your wash routine is. All of this starts with washing. I use a really good shampoo, really good quality, with no, you know, crap in it, just really kind of as organic as you can get it. I mean, at the moment I'm not using kind of a shampoo that's targeted at curly hair. I'm just using a good quality salon shampoo and conditioner. I also once in a while use I think it's L'Oreal Metal Detox hair mask, which smells divine, feels divine, leaves my hair feeling unbelievable. And what I love about it is you only have to leave it in for literally 60 seconds. So I do everything else that I need to do and then wash it out and then condition. However, one of the most important things that was recommended to me at the curl clinic is one of these scalp scrubber. It's wet because I've used it today. One of these scalp scrubber things. You can get these really cheap off Amazon. My mum got this one, so I don't have a link for this one, but I will try and find another one and link it in the description box of this video for you. But basically, when you shampoo, this is the best thing for it. Really gives you that extra clean feel. It's rubbing your shampoo in. They also stimulate hair growth, and it just feels nice. Who doesn't want a scalp massage? So the second important thing being, when you style curly hair, it needs to be sopping wet. So the other thing that I invested in, which again you can get mega cheap off Amazon, I'll link it, was this continuous spray water bottle. So handy, and obviously once you bought it you just fill it up with tap water, so it's great. And I literally just make sure whenever I do each section of my hair, it's like a really nice fine mist, but it's like, you know that saying like, oh, it's that fine rain that gets you really, really wet? That is this personified. So I literally just make sure that all my hair is soaking wet. So as I said, at the moment I'm still using the same products that I've had kind of in my drawers and stuff for years, or just have always used, because I really want to try and experiment a little bit. But I wanted to see if I could do this with cheaper products before I go kind of all in buying the super expensive ones. So the first one that I use is a little bit controversial. Some people love this, some people hate it. It's mega cheap, that's why I'm going to recommend it, because it seems to be working for my hair. Is the Cantu Coconut Curling Cream for natural hair. Defines, moisturizes and helps strengthen strands, and it's been working for me just fine. So this is the first thing that I go in with, is a curl cream. And then basically what I do is, I've already kind of gone through my hair with a Denman comb, and I kind of just put my fingers through it because I don't want to disturb the curls too much. And then I just start sectioning it off. I've lost my clip somewhere, so we're using this huge claw clip basically to section my hair off. So yeah, so I start in little sections, and basically I've sectioned it off like this, and then I will treat these as two separate sections also. So again, you want your hair to be sopping wet, which is where these come in so handy, because you don't want to be kind of rushing around after you've had a shower, or like having to dip your hair in the sink or whatever. This is obviously fresh wash day. I'm still kind of getting to grips with refreshing my curls like halfway through the week, but I can do another video on that maybe when I'm a little bit more educated on it. But what was recommended to me by the curl clinic was to use, they use kind of like a pump bottle of products that they recommend, and the girl said 1 pump per section. So what I tend to do, because this is obviously a tub, is get like what I would assume is 1 pump. So I get about maybe a little bit more than that, but I never want to put too much product in my hair and then it'd be really heavy. So again, like I'm saying, this is an experimental process for me too. So I rake it through first of all. I have kind of adapted this from what they'd said to me at the curl clinic, because it can be quite a long process, and if I have time then I'll go and all out and do it the way that they've taught me, but I had to kind of speed things up a little bit. So once I've finished raking that through, I just kind of give it a little bit of a scrunch. Again, this is me, I want to show you the way that I do it daily, because I don't have time. I mean, I don't do this every day anyway, but a lot of the time I'm in a rush like I am today. Wow, I need some Botox on that forehead. And then what I was told to do by the curl clinic then is get each little section of the way your curls, kind of how much hair a curl is for you, and while you've still got product on your finger, twist it out, but holding it upwards. Oh, so you can see the springy coil. Yeah, and obviously you don't have to do this necessarily for every piece of hair, just do like the bits that aren't falling as well, for example. But yeah, like upwards like this, in an upwards motion. So what you're doing then is getting a lift from the root, so you'll have a bit more volume. Basically go round and do that for each piece of hair that you feel needs it. Now when I'm trying to do this a bit quicker, what I would usually do is just scrunch in this curl cream, and then my next step would be to go in with my gel. So they recommended that I do all the twisting with the curl cream, then put your gel in, then do the twisting with your gel. Obviously, like I say, this is quite a lengthy process. So what I have kind of got into the habit of doing is raking through my curl cream, giving it a good scrunch, making sure that it's all in the hair, and then I will go in with my gel, scrunch, and then twist all the curls, because it just saves time. It's a long process as it is. So the gel that I've been using is one that I got a long time ago, and I actually love this. It's not like a gel that goes really crispy or is like too heavy, and it smells divine. This bottle's actually covered in gel, so it's disgusting, so apologies. But it's the Bounce Curl Light Hold Creme Gel. Can you see that? There you go. So again, this is a bit easier because it has the pump nozzle, if you like. So I just kind of do like a one amount, like a one squeeze. And then rake that through, making sure I get on the ends. And then the same, and then the same for the other side. I make sure that it's kind of all in my hands first, so that it's not like saturated in one area and then one piece of hair gets like, or one section of hair gets like loads of product and the rest of it doesn't. So now I'll do my twisting. So I'll just show you what this looks like. That's probably too big of a piece of hair, to be honest, but it's curling. You just see the difference. Now I can't really see what I'm doing because I'm doing this in the viewfinder. So I'm going to go off and finger coil these, and then I will show you when we get to the top, because it's the same process the whole way through at this stage. What I also meant to say is, when you're going through this, if your hair starts to dry halfway through, just keep spraying it. You know, if you get to a point where you've put the product in and then your hair's drying really quickly before you get a chance to kind of sit through and coil every single one, just spray it again. Just keep making sure it's wet, because what I found is that if it's not soaking wet when I'm styling it, it's not styling the way I want it to, and it's so frizzy. I really suffer with frizz, I always have done, but that really helps, is just even after you've put the product on, spray it with water again, just make sure that it's absolutely dripping wet. So I actually have a way to measure that your hair is wet enough for this, and I think this is a pretty universal thing, but you're looking for a certain noise when you scrunch it, and I'm hoping that this camera is going to pick it up, but this is the noise that you're looking for. So once you've repeated that process for every section, your hair should look like this. Bit of a wet mess. Now, as you can see, mine, like I said, because it still needs some of the ends cutting off, is not curling properly at the ends. Obviously if your hair's healthy then it should curl properly, but you'll see that when it's dry. One of the solutions that I've been using recently, because my ends aren't quite there, is to take a chopstick curling wand that I've literally had for years, and it replicates my curls perfectly. And if I have any stray ones at the end, I'll just go over it with the chopstick curling wand, especially at the front if any are a little bit straighter, because I feel like it just doesn't frame my face the same. One thing that I'm actually wanting to do is get bangs cut in, because I just think they look so cute when they're curly. So that's the next step, because I feel like I've like quite a round face shape, so I think it will frame it a bit better. But yeah, so you'll see when this is dry. So the next step, with that being said, is to dry it. So this is a Dyson, but it really doesn't matter what hairdryer you have, as long as you have the kind of diffusing end to put on it, if that makes sense, with the spikes. I think the longer the spikes are, the better, but if you have a diffuser, you have a diffuser. So one of the things that the curl clinic had mentioned to me is, when you go in with a diffuser, is to kind of go round the edges first rather than going straight in like that with the heat. So kind of just give it a bit of a blast, if you like, but obviously you don't want to disturb the curls too much. So I'm just going to show you how I start off for about 5-10 minutes first, and if you don't have curly hair or it's your first time kind of styling, this is a long process. Your arms are going to hurt. You're going to end up building up some strong upper body strength, because it is a long process. then once that's dried off a little bit, I'll start going in and really diffusing the hair. So just making sure that it's getting kind of each area of your head. Oh my god, it's all stuck to my face. So I'll kind of go in at the root, make sure that it's dry at the root, making sure all the ends are dry, and kind of, I don't really have much of a technique to it, I just kind of go around and do it. I like to flip my head upside down and make sure that it's all drying from here, because I don't want it to be flat at the top. And I just do that for as long as it takes, really, until it's almost dry, and then I'll show you the next step. So at this stage, when it's kind of like half dry and it's quite noodly and it's casting a little bit, it goes a bit crispy, I try not to kind of shake it around too much. Ooh. I'll make sure that it's kind of staying in place when it's being diffused, because I don't want to, I don't even know if there's any science to this, but this is the way I feel, is I don't want to disturb the curls too much when they're still wet, because I feel like I'll mess with the curl pattern. And then what I'll do is, when it is dry, I'll still be going in with the diffuser and I'll give it a good shake around once it's dry, because then I feel like I'm getting the volume and it's not like so noodly defined, but I'm not necessarily going to get the frizz, whereas I feel like if I do it now while it's wet, then I'll get the frizz. So I hope that makes sense. I felt like that was an important point to make. Okay, so what I do now that it's almost dry is I have this finishing volume spray by Curls and Clouds. You can see that. This is another one that I absolutely love. At this stage, with the combination and amount of products that I've used, my curls are defined, but they're really soft, and I really like that. I like it when they don't feel kind of too heavy or crispy or over styled, but this I feel like just gives me that extra bit of volume and make sure that they stay in place. So the one thing with this is it does make them quite crispy, which is why I wait until my hair's almost dry. I spray this all over and then diffuse it, and then after that I want to break that cast a little bit. So I'll go in with, I don't even know which company this is from, because it's got two labels on it which are kind of overlapping, but this is, I'll try and find it so that I can link it for you, but this is basically a curl energizing hydration serum. So I always finish off with a serum so that I can get that shine and break the cast that comes from the gel and the volumizing spray. So this one I absolutely love. Again, it smells divine. So I'm just going to show you that process now. So I'm just kind of spraying this. It's got one of them sprays that just gets all over you. But I'm just kind of spraying this all over, not too much. A little light spritz. Now I'm going to diffuse that and I'll come back. So at this point, when that's been dried in, oh, you can see what I mean here about some of the bits not curling properly. That again is because of excessive heat use over years and my hair not being the same. So these are the bits that I would usually just get the curling wand over the end and here, but I'm not going to have time to do that for you today. But I've diffused in the volume spray, and what I like to do now is go in with the diffuser and really kind of loosen up the curls so that I'm getting a bit more volume. Sometimes I'll go in with an afro comb. Usually I just take that out in my bag with me though during the day and really pull it out at the top so that I'm getting some volume, because at the moment we're looking a little bit flat. So I'm going to show you how I pull that all out now. So you can see here there is quite a bit more volume in this now. Now I never feel like my hair is the most voluminous just after I've washed it anyway. It usually takes a few hours more towards the end of the day or the next day after I've slept in it where I feel like I've got the most volume. Now with more volume, obviously a kind of byproduct of that is that you're probably going to get more frizz. Now I kind of like my curls a bit messier anyway. I still think you can see they're really defined, they're really shiny. But I still have the volume, or I will have in a few hours the volume that I'm wanting. I really want to get those bangs cut in. I feel like it's going to make the world of difference, some short bangs here. So then my final step with this is to go in with the serum like I mentioned, maybe a couple of pumps through my hands, and I literally just scrunch it through. and I just feel like it helps to make sure that my hair's not crispy. It's all kind of falling nicely in its own curls. It's got that extra bit of shine. Why do all curly products smell absolutely insane? I don't know what it is, but they're amazing. So there you go, you can see there the shine. It's just all these random straight bits that I struggle with, but I feel like we'll get there, you know. I'd love to come back in a few months and show you guys much healthier hair once it's been cut again, and obviously it's getting back to health massively. It's not, they even kind of said to me at the clinic, it's not in as bad health as I assumed it would be for the amount of heat that had been on it over the years. But I had always been getting haircuts, using masks all the time. I've never really had bleach in my hair, so that all obviously helps. But yeah, I really cannot wait to show you guys as this gets healthier. The curls here are perfect. I'm just going to separate a couple of them a little bit because I don't like it when they stick together. But you know, they're nice and boingy. I feel like my hair's really getting its elasticity back. I could sit here all day and just go boing. But yeah, I mean, you can see the length difference when it's curly to when it's straight, so this is why we couldn't really chop any more off. So that's it in terms of styling. It's taken a long time for me to really love my curls, and I have to say that going to a curl clinic and learning all about curl care and styling and all the rest of it has really helped me come into my own. I used to hate the way I looked with my curls, and I actually feel really kind of confident and I love it now. I just want them to get really long. So yeah, so that's it in terms of styling. The only kind of other thing that I really wanted to talk about was sleeping with your curls and kind of refreshing them throughout the week, because that is one side that I'd always really struggled with. So the main thing I would say is kind of protective hairstyles, silk scrunchies, silk or satin scrunchies, same with your pillowcase, which is also way better for your skin. And then the other thing is sleeping with it in a satin bonnet. So I'll try and link these again. I ordered a pack of 2 from Amazon, and they again were super cheap. I think they were less than a tenner. And they're so handy. I literally just sleep in a bonnet whenever my hair is curly now. It's single-handedly ruining my relationship. My boyfriend absolutely hates the bonnet. He's renounced the bonnet, but hair care comes first. So I wanted to order a black one, and it came in a pack of 2, and I've somehow lost my black one. So I'm now wearing this really attractive leopard print satin bonnet. So I basically just tip my head upside down. I would put all the curls in, and then it'll go on like this. And it's just the best way to sleep. It means my hair wakes up exactly the same the next day. Sometimes if I've slept a bit funny on it, then I'll just give it a little bit of a refresh. But I actually prefer my curls the next day when I sleep in a bonnet than the day that I've washed it. And the other thing is, when I sleep with this on, I pull it down over my eyes so that I can't, it's like wearing a sleep mask, and it's lovely. So I think pretty much that's it. I will try and link everything that I can. I hope this has helped someone in some way, because I used to watch so many tutorials and really just had no idea. And there's a lot of information out there which it can become quite overwhelming. You know, I was trying to figure out what curl type I was and all the rest of it, and it really doesn't matter that much. You know, when I was speaking to the guys at the curl clinic, and I was like, is my hair low in protein, is it high in moisture, is it, and they were like, what? They were like, just your hair just needs to be healthy, you know, don't worry too much about how much protein your hair's got in it, what coil type your hair is, like just start with the basic right steps. So like I say, I hope that's helped someone, and again, I would love to do another one of these and show you what it looks like in a few months. If you guys want to see a kind of curl refresh halfway through the week type thing that I do, then I'm happy to do that as well if you want me to. As always, please like and subscribe. I'm really trying to get on 1 video a week now, as well as the behind the brand videos, which have been going really well, so I'm glad you guys love them as well. Let me know what else you want to see. Doesn't have to be curl related, I mean any type of videos. I'm trying to figure out what it is that you're interested in, so I'd love to actually create something of value for you guys, and I will see you soon.